My name's Danny Lux. I'm a TV film composer and a member of CSAC. Normally, I would still be working on the last 3 or 4 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, which unfortunately were not able to get filmed because of the situation we're in. So we only did 21 out of the 25 planned episodes. I was able on my other shows, Manifest and Station 19, they had a shorter episode order run, so we finished those. And that's pretty much it. Normally I would still be working, but I finished up maybe about a week and a half ago. Well, I'm sheltering in my studio house. You can see part of my studio, which is really no different than where I am almost every day. But, obviously the difference is can't really go out. You got to stay away from people like hopefully everybody's doing. But other than that, my life isn't that much different. I'm usually here almost all day, every day, anyhow. So the only big difference is I just don't go out to like lunches and dinners or meetings. And it gets a bit boring, but other than that, it's not that much different for probably most composers as we're kind of cave dwellers in our own studios, anyhow. Well, I just finished working on my actual compositions for my shows about a week and a half ago. But what I like to do normally, anyways, when I finish and I have some time off, is really focus on creating new sounds. Like I'm very into making my own synth kind of pulses and pads and percussion samples and stuff like that. I also I work in Cubase and I have a very large template. There's thousands and thousands of tracks, and it's always an ongoing, evolving template. So there are many things that I always want to improve or rebuild. I also have, besides Cubase as my main sequencing machine, I have 4 other PC machines that are VE Pro slave machines. One is a heavy duty machine that's mostly running the orchestral setup. The second one kind of runs everything else. And then the third and fourth machine are just older machines running some older libraries. But in general, my template has been evolving for probably more than a decade. So there are many parts of the template that really aren't organized real well. That I've been wanting for years and years and years now to have the time to jump back in and rebuild and clean up. So I'm definitely taking the time to do that, which I've wanted to do forever. So it's kind of nice to actually have the time to finally do these chores, so to speak, that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Well, it hasn't really changed. I make music here by myself most of the time anyhow. What did change was in the last few episodes, where everybody was just staying at home, we had to figure out a way to take our meetings and do our spotting sessions, which are the meetings we get together and we all watch the show and decide where the music goes and talk about what the emotions of the scene should be, that kind of thing. We had to come up with a way to do that remotely. So we used a really great program, a free program called 27 is the website, and it allows everybody to watch the picture and sync together and have like a remote meeting, just like a virtual meeting, as if we were all in the same room looking at the same picture. So that worked out really well. Highly recommend that as an option. And that was kind of the biggest difference for me. It was just, we had to finish up our last few episodes with having remote virtual meetings rather than, me going down to the studios in person. For me, and I think probably most composers, we're stuck at our home studios doing what we do anyhow. So for me, I don't think it's going to really change anything. I haven't had many shows in the last couple of years that I had a lot of musicians coming in. Uh, in the past, I used to have certain shows that would have quite a few musicians come in every episode. But for some reason, the last, say, 4, 5, 6 years, that hasn't been the case. So not much is going to change during this time for me on how I make music. Well, I wouldn't really necessarily say I've picked up hobbies, but I have found myself, uh, more time on my hands. So practicing a bit more, definitely checking out some YouTube videos and uh, lessons on, like, guitar playing. I'm not a very good guitar player, so it's nice to like have some time to practice a little bit and watch some videos and pick up some tips. Also spend some time, figuring out some songs that I'm always wanted to go, God, I should figure that out. I should, learn those chord changes and that kind of thing. So I've been doing stuff like that and just really enjoying it. And so I'm sure I'll explore uh, different scores and just, try to take this time to kind of learn new things that hopefully I can apply uh, to my own music in the future. First thing I think I'll do is definitely resume going out to lunches every day and dinners. It's about the only time I really get out of the house on a normal basis, anyhow. So that I think is what I miss most, just being able to get out of the house. So anyhow, I hope you all stay safe and stay at home, and hopefully this won't last too much longer.